where to start? I mean, literally, where to start? I'm not sure. I woke up this morning in a pretty good mood. Pretty excited about the day. It's a Monday. You got like a little over a week before Christmas, and I love the Christmas holiday. And I said I wasn't going to do it to myself. And I said I wasn't going to watch a Giant game on Sunday. I said I'm going to go Christmas shopping. I'm going to be in the holiday festive spirit because I had the Eagle game on at 4:30 and I had the Packers game on as well. Packers and Eagles both won. And I said to myself, I'm just not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Well, of course I did it. And like a moron, I watched the game. I love when people text me like, are you done streaming? Yeah, I'm streaming right now. I watched the game. And at some points in time, the Giants looked like a Division III team. And that's being generous. Yes, you got Tim Boyle at quarterback. Yes, Tommy DeVito went out again. Yeah, you were against the Baltimore Ravens. You played against the Jackson 5, which is Lamar Jackson and his 5 touchdown passes. Should have been 6. Please stop with the Dame Belton shit. Please. People are talking, well, look at all those tackles he had. Yeah, he was also the trailer on 3 touchdowns. And the one that he almost had the interception, it was an underthrown pass by Lamar Jackson. He throws that on the money. That's touchdown number 6. And I hear now that some of the Giant pundits and content creators and media heads are sitting there and saying that this is bad. You have to get rid of everybody. You have to get rid of everybody. This is terrible. Why? It took him how long to come around? You had to be 2-13 or 2-12 to figure that out. To all of a sudden now be cutting edge, be bleeding edge, as they say in technology, and come out and say something stupid like this isn't a good team. No, it's not a good team. It's not a good team at all. It's not even like a little bit of a good team. It's poorly. We've been saying since training camp, this is a cut and paste team that is put together poorly, that is constructed with talent that's not really truly NFL talent. And we have a general manager who has had 3 drafts, and the drafts just seem to get worse. And I'm not sure how these drafts continuously get worse. I'm not really getting it. I don't get it at this point in time. How anyone in their right mind have any ability to sit there and say that this team is well constructed, this team is well coached, because it's not. You go look at the tackling. I know everyone's in love with Jerome Henderson and all this, but
what the hell's going on out here? Everybody's grabbing out there. Nobody's tackling. Just grabbing, everybody. Grab.
That's from the venerable, of course, Vince Lombardi. Everyone's grabbing. Nobody tackles. We have some people that tackle, but everyone likes to use the shoulder tackle. Throw my shoulder in them and hit them as hard as I can and try to knock them off balance. Yeah, Trey Hawkins learned the hard way that causes shoulder injuries if you don't use proper, I don't know, tackling techniques. I'm actually wearing my Cooper DeJean Mustard. I'm wearing my Cooper DeJean jersey today. Why not? Why not? Couldn't find my Xavier McKinney jersey today. But this team has just reached a point that I don't know. I mean, I literally don't know. I can't think of a process that will save this team besides just getting rid of everyone. The plane is flying overhead. The planes are flying overhead now. Now we got a second week of the planes flying overhead. We got a second week of them saying, we're going to keep doing this till you get rid of everybody. Till you get rid of everyone. John, is he listening? Tickets right now for the Indianapolis game, the last home game of the season, are going as low as $5. And yes, I know they're on the secondary market, according to certain beat writers of the Giants. Well, it doesn't really matter because the Mariners already got paid for that, so that's just on the secondary market. Yeah, dumbasses, we fucking get it. I'm not looking at you, Art Stapleton. I'm not fucking looking at you because you're too goddamn stupid to look at. But when your secondary markets are just so horrid that you can't even sell tickets for $5, that stadium looks so empty. It's depressing. It literally is depressing to think that this is the house that Wellington Mara built. It's sad. It's disgusting. And you just don't want any part of it anymore. Everyone's hoping now that Sanders or Ward are going to come in here and save us. Travis Hunter's not coming here. I got a Travis Hunter video coming out in a couple days, and I think it's a good perspective on Travis Hunter. But I'm finishing that video right now. But you need more than a quarterback to save this team. We've talked about this. You need more than a quarterback to save this team. Yeah, we get that. We're not fucking stupid. We get it. But you see the difference between what a quarterback can do when you have one under center compared to what happens when you have Boyle and DeVito. And for the love of God, are we finally done with the Tommy DeVito is going to be the bridge quarterback? Are we finally fucking done with that? Are we done with that? Are we? No. I love this one already because we've talked about this. I think this season exposed the fact that Shane Bowen was indeed carried by Jim Schwartz. I have been saying that for years. Take a look at Jim Schwartz when he came over to the Tennessee Titans after he took a little sabbatical. Shane Bowen's secondary, his first season as a quasi defensive coordinator, they were 11-5, made the playoffs. They had the worst defense. They got smoked in the playoffs. Secondary was awful. They finally brought in Jim Schwartz as a consultant and a mentor. And I believe it was in the Daily Tennessean. When he left, he talked about how Vrabel brought him in to mentor and give him a second set of eyes in reference to what Shane Bowen was doing. And the secondary improved those 2 years and then fell back off the fucking cliff when he left to take the defense coordinator job in Cleveland. Fell off the fucking cliff. And I kept saying that I was worried that he was going to bring in the system. I give Bowen credit that he's trying to adapt the system to his players, but his system is not good. And his talent and technique of teaching is not good. The Tennessee Titan defensive players, I love this. I love this to this day. The first practice without Shane Bowen, one of the defensive players came up and said, you know what, I like our new DC, which is the one the Giants wanted. You know why I like him? Because if we do something wrong, he makes us do it until we get it right.
That's what she said.
He makes us do it again until we get it right. And the reporter asked very succinctly, didn't you do that when Shane Bowen was there? No. If something didn't work, we just didn't do it again. And this is when I laugh when people say they want to bring Mike Vrabel here because he thought Shane Bowen was a good defensive coordinator. Oh, what does Trenton have to say? I love the jersey. Become an Eagles fan full time. Yeah, I thank you, Trenton. I laugh. It's my Cooper DeJean jersey. I laugh because I have people saying, okay, you should now change your channel to an Eagles channel. You should now change channel to a Packers channel. I have people that DM that are like, just give up on the Giants and come over to us. And I appreciate that. Go Birds. That's all I got to say. I love it. My two teams right now are doing great. The Packers and the Eagles are doing great. I love the Eagles, though. You know why I love the Eagles so much? They remind me of the 85 Bears. They are so fucking dysfunctional. You watch the head coach having to be blocked by the defensive line coach after the knucklehead penalty, and the defensive line coach is literally standing between the player and the head coach like, no, you ain't fucking talking to him. They are winning, and they are so fucking dysfunctional. It's the 85 Bears. It's the defense with Buddy Ryan and the rest of the team with Mike Ditka. That's what it reminds me of. I want to know what love is. Let's see what Joe Rev has to say. Morning, Mr. Online Big Blue. Sergi family, I don't get this fan base. Seriously, there are people saying Shane and Dable need to stay and not draft a quarterback. You're going to get a top 5 pick. And positionally, wherever you land, you're either going to get a shot or Sanders or Ward. I think both are NFL quarterbacks. I think both can be NFL quality quarterbacks. I think Sanders is going to have more of an upside potential immediately. I think Ward might have a little bit longer maturation process, but I do think they both have the ability. They are both worth top 5 picks. After that, no. After that, the cliff does this. That's what the cliff does. And to think that you have the opportunity, you see what this team is like without a quarterback. You saw what this team was like with Daniel Jones. You see what this team was like without Saquon Barkley. But somehow people are out there saying, well, you can't take a quarterback because that's a reach. You don't have one on the roster next year. People keep telling me about the $60 million in plus cap space. Yeah, it's real easy when you don't have a fucking quarterback on the roster to have 60. You could have $100 million in cap space. What is that going to do for you to get a quarterback? It's not. It does nothing. Knock, knock. Who there? Who's there? Stupid. Not you, Joe Rev. Joe Rev says, I'm seriously starting to think the Giants have the dumbest fan base in sports. I agree. Hit that like button, says our Crystal Love of MMA. Michael comes in strong with Tim. 3 more losses than Sanders Sanders or Ward are a Giant. I agree. Tim, 3 more losses than Sanders or Ward is our quarterback. Hey, what's up, Rocky? The Dark Friend says, I watched most of the Giant game. Dable seems to be coaching like he wants to be. Dable seems like he does want to get fired. You had that one possession where he threw the ball 3 fucking times in a row. And I'm sitting there going, is this Kevin Gilbride when we're going back to don't run the draw? Don't run the draw. Fuck, you ran the draw. Are we going back to that? 4 minutes left, down 35-14, and he's burning his timeouts like the score is 21-17. Your team is already decimated by injuries. And I keep saying this over and over again, especially with some of these injuries. Some of these injuries are occurring because some of these guys just aren't NFL players. Injuries occur when you cannot protect yourself on the field. I've talked about this a million times. I've talked about this with Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale in a 4-yard cloud of dust Robinson. That was a great fucking pick. There was no other wide receiver we could have taken. There's no other wide receiver we could have taken with that pick. I just can't think of one that we could have taken. After seeing Sanders flex his NY football to the camera, do you believe he actually wants to come here? He's trolling. He knows he's gonna have to go. He may end up here. That's like we did it already, and they already won it.
Stupid giant Twitter post.
That went out to Fireside Giants a couple days ago, who did a video saying the New York Giants and Malik Nabers are recruiting Sanders. How do you recruit someone you're going to fucking draft? Hey, Tim. We are number 1. Cam is coming home soon. I really do hope it's Cam Ward. I really do. Hey, Tim, it would be cool if the Giants brought in the Lions assistant GM. That would be cool. I would bring in anyone. Bring in fucking Bozo the Clown to run this show. Because it's good. Okay, you see the Nestle Quick Cup right there? You bring him in as a general manager and bring Goofy in as the head coach, and we would still win 2 games. I love when people jokingly tell me, well, Tim, you should go apply for the general manager job or the head coaching job. I could win 2 games. I have enough football knowledge to only win 2 games out of 17. Why not? We should have a fan coach of the day, like the bad Whoopi Goldberg movie. One with the big old super chat says the product that Shane has put on the. You know what? It's no longer Shane. It's shown. Shane, there's a CH there. It's Shane, it's shown, not Shane. I'm calling you out, Joe Shone. Just because you spell something differently, the letters don't add up. Okay, Joe Shone. It's a product that Shone has put on the field. Was going to get us maybe 3 to 4 wins. Now there's no depth. We're finishing with 2-15. Fire Joe Shone. Why not? I'd fire him right now. I'd fire everyone in that fucking building. When we lost 35-14, and so I saw the stands, and I actually posted on Twitter, I would have fucking fired everyone right then and there. Wouldn't even have waited. You kind of hope it's a Wellington Merit. Jim Fossil got fired during his last season. And what happened was they basically, the story has it that Wellington Merrick came down and fired Fossil, but let him finish out the season. Hold on. He let him finish out the season. So, which is great. But so you kind of hope, I'm hoping that's kind of what this is. That you kind of hope that's what it was. That he's just letting him finish out the season. I love it though. Yesterday, I love it yesterday because you gotta love. You gotta love. And this is a mistake that's been commonly made. You gotta love Tiki Barber, the venerable giant Tiki Barber. During the broadcast, he says, Malik Nabers is reaching the New York Giants all-time catch record, which is held both by Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham Jr. at 91. Oh, you're supposed to be a giant aficionado. You're supposed to be an ambassador of the team. You work on the fan. You did some of the broadcasts. Of course, you meant the rookie catch record. Because we all know Steve Smith holds the all-time catch record at 107. You're on a live broadcast, broadcasting your team that you played for, that you fucked, but you played for, and you can't get it right that it's not the all-time giant catch record. It is the rookie giant catch, all-time single-season catch record. And I'm going to mention this again. Everyone's like, well, he's going to be the greatest wide receiver ever. He's got 90 catches, 90 plus yards, and 4 touchdowns. Did anyone see what Brian Thomas Jr. stats are? Number 23rd, pick 23rd overall. Anyone take a look? Anyone take a look? He's played more games than Malik. He's got 40 plus less targets, 64 receptions, 956 yards, 14.9 compared to 10, and 8 touchdowns. And people would be like, well, he has Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's stats, if you look at them, were almost eerily identical to Daniel Jones before he got hurt, and he's got Mac Jones under center. I've said this before. By hook or by crook, Malik Nabers should bust one wide open on some type of play, some type of short pass. No, we get 4 yards in a cloud of dust. What's up, my brother? What's up, Sean? Everything's up. What does Jared say? Jared says, I will say the most recent draft was decent, but we obviously have a long way to go. Neighbors will need a real quarterback to be legit. Let's take a look at the most recent draft, and I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking on you at all, my friend. But I want to talk about the most recent giant draft in 2024 because again, I always tell people, put the draft in perspective, and you also do not know what the draft is going to look like until 3 years down the road. Malik Nabers is a solid hit. Tyler Nubin should be a linebacker. We talked about Drew Phillips before. 0 pass defenses. The league is completing 80% of their passes for a ridiculous 10.8 yards a reception. 10.8 yards a reception. Think about this. 80%, and there's a ridiculous amount of first downs completed. Theo Johnson, everyone's telling me what the great player is. He has a couple catches here and there, and that's what we call a great player. Tyrone Trace, you gotta love him. But outside, you subtract 2 of his big games, and right now his claim to fame is he hasn't fumbled in 3 games. And Darius shouldn't even be on the roster. So I can't give you that. Can't give you that one. Hey, what's up, Juan? Yo, Tim, what's up, my brother? Everything's up. Everything's up. Oh, what do we got here? Rocky says picking 2 to 6 in the draft the last 10 years, you should have potential Hall of Famers, at least very good players. The Giants have none of these. What do you mean? I mean, I have no idea. Damn it! Stop that. Oh my God, everything's going crazy.
Giant Twitter post.
Everything's going crazy. But what I was trying to say, I mean, you can't really screw up. You can't really screw up 5 and 7. I mean, people say I'm a genius, but yeah, people say you're a genius because you're an idiot. When a career backup came in after 2 weeks and played just as good as, if not better than, your 6 years, $160 million quarterback, this team has a serious quarterback problem. That's how we get here. That's true. I didn't see much of a drop off between Boyle and DeVito, or Drew Lock than from Daniel Jones. Joe Schoen aloft all the talent that was on this raw team, and such could never replace them because he's such a poor talent evaluator. You're right. Let's see here. You're 100% right. Willie B says we actually need to draft 2 quarterbacks and probably bring in a free agent at this point. You do. This is what I don't get with people. You literally need to draft 2 quarterbacks, and you need to bring in a bridge. Jameis Winston, people want to bring in Jameis Winston. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this guys right now. Jameis Winston is fun. He's a fun guy. He is fun to watch, but he's also going to drive you fucking insane. We don't need that kind of man in life. Wait, we used to have that clip. Let it go. I saw you beat that man like I saw you beat no man before, and the man kept coming after you. We need to let go of the Jameis Winston thing because he is literally going to drive you nuts. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to find the Let It Go clip. I know I used to have it. Oh, this is what we need. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need a neuralizer. Because we're on a wing and a prayer here. Joe Schoen seems to take everything personally with players when they draft and agree to his terms. I think they're clear, the Hard Knocks, not to beat a dead horse, but he came off incompetent and over his head. 100%, you're right, he did. Flash, what are we doing here? What are they doing? The interview process for the coordinators. I don't know what they were doing. Christopher says, hey, Tim, please convince Mayor to clean house now. I sold my tickets again for $5. Because now StubHub limited me. I couldn't sell them for $1 anymore. I sold them for $5 because I didn't want to be there. What's up, Miguel? What's going on? Todd says, guess what? When people can no longer flip PSLs for profits, they will stop buying them. You're not going to be, I keep thinking I'm not renewing next year and I'm going to sell my PSLs on the market. I think I'm done. I literally think I'm done. I think I can invest my money more wisely, maybe into like, I don't know, landfill, sinkhole. Something like that. James says, Bills and Eagles Super Bowl. Let's go. I love your coaches in Philadelphia, man. I really do. You guys are winning. You're kicking the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you guys are arguing on the sidelines. It's 85 Bears, man. It's 85 Bears. I might have to get out the Randall Cunningham jersey. James says, hits the like button. What's up, brother? What's up, chat? Todd says, yes, more than a quarterback, but that when you have none, you need 3. Right point. When you have 0, you need more than 1. The fans are better at picking players than the GM. Please make it stop. No, because I've seen the drafts from like Big Pat and other people. No, they are not better at picking anybody. They're not better than picking out their own fucking socks. But I'll give the fans yes. Matthew says, what's up, man? What's up, OBB family? Hey, Glenn, what's up? Hey, I know that this question is sensitive, but I need to ask if the Giants don't pick one of these two quarterbacks, does that mean the owner is racist? Not that I don't care, Glenn. That's a question that's sensitive. How many times we've talked about this? How many times have I told you certain quarterbacks don't match the drapes in the building in the Giants Stadium? Not a sensitive question. If the Giants are sitting at 1 and you go Travis Hunter and you don't really take quarterback in this draft, you got maybe a little bit of an issue. If the Giants are at 2 and both Sanders and Ward are there, and the Giants trade out and don't draft the quarterback, yeah, you got a little bit of an issue there. I've always said that I don't think the Giants are inherently a racist organization when it comes in reference to drafting a black quarterback. I think it has to do a lot with timing because, like we've said it before, you went, 14 years with Phil Simms. Then you had the Dave Brown connection because you thought he was the guy. And then you went through the dearth a little bit with the Cannell and Ken Graham. And then you kind of fell into Kerry Collins, so you didn't need a quarterback then. Then you had Kurt Warner, but then you also drafted Eli Manning, so you had 16 years of Eli. So the opportunity to draft a quarterback at time just wasn't really there. But if you're looking at a perspective that if you don't draft one now, there may be more credence to the argument. And we'll actually do a whole video on that. What's up, Marvin? Starving like Marvin. Girls come out, raps come in packs like Sammy and Dean Martin. What do we got here? Jared says, not a chance. We don't pick a quarterback. There better not be a chance. Hung Dave says, hey, Tim, the fact that McKinney and Love were let go makes me literally hate Joe Shane. Those players should never have been let go. Joe Shane needs to be fired for malpractice. Listen, you never even offered McKinney a contract, and Love came back to you to take like $4 million less than what you offered him in the season. You said, no, we like our safeties. Have you seen Jason Pinnock play? Have you seen Dane Belton play? I don't understand it. Matthew says, I honestly think that the Giants are destined for Cam Ward. Isn't Vegas all in on Sanders? Yeah, but you got to get the pick. You can do that too, but you got to have the pick. Daryl says, yo, Tim and chat, we are on our way to the number one pick. Hopefully Merritt listens to the planes and fires everyone. I don't think he's going to. I wish he would. What's up, Skyline? Thomas says, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but who do you prefer, Sanders or Ward? Thomas, we did a whole video about this, but I'm going to answer it real quick for you. I like Sanders. I like Ward. You take either one of them, I'm not upset. If I had a preference, I like Ward. I think you've got a lot of baggage that comes with Sanders outside off the field with Dion. I think if things go poorly, I think you're going to have more of an issue with the Sanders Nabers dynamic. I think talent-wise, I think Sanders is more ready, talented, but I think long-term, I think Cam Ward is going to be a better player and a better fit. It's kind of like the CJ Stroud, Bryce Young thing. But if it's me, I'm not going to be upset with either one, but I'm going with Ward. Sanders' mentor, Tom Brady, is minor in the order of the Raiders. It tells me he's destined for the Sanders will go to the Raiders and Cam goes to the Giants. Both become stars. You got to draft him first. That's the problem. Now, if you tell me the Giants take Sanders and then you try to flip him for Ward, then I could see they kind of do what we did with Eli in 2004. But I don't think you're going to get much of a ransom because I also think the Raiders would be happy with Ward too. Shane on you. No, it's not Shane. It's Shown. See, and I never liked that. That's one of the things I kind of thought he was a smug, pompous asshole. He eats Crustables and it's not Shown. It's Shane. No, it's not. Hey, Tim, would you sign up for 2 more years of Belichick? Well, we can't with Belichick. Belichick's gone. Belichick is over in he's the head coach at North Carolina. Mr. Hartman says, I hearing fans say you need to keep Shown and Dable because who else is going to take this job that'll be better? Me and James. T-Brad and myself. There we go. It's hard to pay a practice squad quarterback $106 million then win 2 games. Shown has the amazing ability to lose talent and still drive up the cap. That's the GM material. I don't get. That's what I really don't get either. His cap management is god awful. You're going on year 4 and people are excited about $60 million, but you don't have a quarterback on the roster. We got $60 million. We're really going to fill this roster. Okay. You don't have a quarterback. Maybe we are stupid fans. Mr. Roberts says team building is still going to suck as long as Chris Mara as the head of scouting and Abrams are still in the building. Clean house. When the Giants brought in Joe Schoen, it was one of those things that you kind of thought he was going to revamp everything. And when you kept Abrams and you kept Chris Mara, that's when you knew nothing was going to change. Captain Matumbo says, what do you really want for Christmas besides a DJ signed jersey? Yeah, I want Joe Shane and Brian Dable fired. Morning to everyone in the chat. What's up, Christopher? Stu says my son was there yesterday. He's a Ravens fan and said so many of them got decent seats for $50. I sold mine for $5. It sucked though because we were gonna have we were actually going, but we weren't gonna go to the game. But of course, my son stays home from school on Friday with like 102 fever. And his fever doesn't break till Sunday morning. So there was no way we could take him and sit him in a parking lot for that garbage. But we were gonna see everybody, and we didn't get a chance. And I feel bad about it. But anyone that has kids knows that shit happens. That shit happens. But I may go, and I may be one of the few people, but I might go to the I might go to the Colts game. Why not? I figure if I go on StubHub, I can get seats in the owner's box for like $4. Tiki had some bad takes and comments. I cannot stand Tiki Barber anymore. I tried listening to him on the Fan, but he just doesn't know sports. All he knows how to do is leave his current wife for an intern and get her pregnant. Hi-oh. People forget these things, Tiki. I don't. Anyone seen Kayvon Thibodeau? Who? Kayvon what? Don't worry. His ghost brother got his 8th sack. So now we're never going to see him again.
Submitted for your approval. The Ghost Brothers. Nobody needs to be afraid.
Oh, nobody's afraid of those two. The Giants need to decide before next season, next season starts, if they're going to pick up the 5th-year option on Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. And this is one of the things that just rattles in my brain. That you think you're going to bring back Joe Shane. How can you, in year 4 of his regime, not pick up the 5th-year option on both the 5th and the 7th pick in his first draft? That is a fucking monumental failure. You failed on 5 and 7. You fucking failed on 5 and 7. And you may not, as the general manager, pick up the 5th-year option on the own players that were supposed to be the building blocks because people say I'm a genius, but who can screw up 5 and 7? You did. 2 thumbs up. Good job, Joe. Fire everyone. Once the GM gave Daniel Jones some money, we knew he was an idiot. This is a clown, Joan. Thank you, Tim. Tim, fire everyone. GM and the coach and the front office, everyone they give Daniel. This is a clown show. It really is. And like I keep telling people over and over again, I finally some beat writers are finally fucking figuring out. When the Giants inked Daniel Jones at $160 million contract, they were automatically now the property of Joe Schoen and Brian Dable. They were the prop. That was their pick. They got to pick their quarterback. They don't need to pick another one. They got to pick it. And their thought process was, we could make Daniel Jones into an NFL quarterback. Hit the like button, people. I don't know why. Cam Ward had a better year than Sanders, and Cam didn't have Travis Hunter. You need to draft Cam Ward and let him wear number 7. Yeah, Melheim's family. Why not? Let's just unretire all these numbers. We let Malik Nabers do nothing and give him the first number ever retired in NFL history. Why not? What the fuck? Trade Kayvon. I'm down for that, but who's going to take him? Who's going to take Kayvon Thibodeau? I mean, seriously, who? He's a friendly pass rusher. We all know that.
Hey kids, look over there. Who is it? It's Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Oh no, now he's gone.
Todd Taylor says he's a possession receiver they forced the ball to. You would think, like I said, you have been targeted the second most times in the NFL. You are supposed to be this big play guy. This guy that's going to be a game breaker. This guy that's going to change the dimension of football. You never just break one. Corner doesn't. I mean, you never get around a corner. You never do a little pinball like Kadarius Toney did in Dallas. You just kind of catch the ball and fall down. And I watched Brian Thomas Jr. have another touchdown yesterday. And I watched Brian Thomas Jr. with Mac Jones as a quarterback against the Jets. 10 receptions, 105, 2 touchdowns. And he had a 41-yard reception. I love this. His longest reception this year, Brian Thomas Jr., is 85 yards. Where is this game breaker? Games over the last 3 games for Brian Thomas Jr. Longest receptions 41, 31, and 56. We have 3 yards in a cloud of dust. What's up, Mark? Mark was going to be there today. I feel bad that when we get up there to see Mark. Todd says, if we ever get a third for Kayvon Thibodeau, we're going to jump on it. I would jump on it immediately. Stu says, Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, Wando Robinson, 1, 2, 3 picks, all dead wrong, dead wood. So disappointing. How many times have we gone through this draft? I remember the Giants draft. And I remember sitting there telling people, I'm not too overly impressed with this draft. And I got blasted for it, as always. As always. I got told I didn't know anything about sports. I said I didn't believe Kayvon Thibodeau took plays off at Oregon, but I didn't like the pick of Evan Neal because I wanted a linebacker. I hated the pick of Wando Robinson. I hated all the picks after Wando Robinson, and I kept being told I know nothing about sports. You know nothing about sports. Azuda, Flott, Bellinger, Belton, McFadden, Davidson, McKeithen, Beavers. And then the next year you took Owens, Riley, Hawkins, and Gray. All guys that should be working at Home Depot. Jalen Hyatt. I don't know what the hell happened with Jalen Hyatt. Poor kid. He just needs to go somewhere. And I kept telling people JMS undersized center and he's given up the most sacks in the league for a center. And I like the Banks pick, but I don't understand why we traded up one spot to get him when the team that we traded up and jumped over didn't even take a corner. Daniel Jones, Mike Glennon, Jake Fromm, Denny DeVito, Tim Boyle, Drew Lock. Wow, you guys all play. We all played these guys. We did. Shane says, if Stafford is available and you have him show. No, I can't listen. I finally have some cap space. I can finally do what the Eagles did with Jalen, and they're still living off that new contract. I can sit there and take a guy and have 3 to 4 years before I really start thinking about that big money. I can't take Stafford's contract and take the $50 million and dump it into my cap space when I have so many other holes. When you watch Crosby, Watts, and Bosa and Hutch, you get excited about Kayvon at $30 million, Burns $30 million. You're right. Giant Clown says, you were right about Shane from jump. Does not know how to build a team properly. He's got to go. I kept saying that I was going to give Joe Shane the benefit of the doubt. I kept saying it. And I said it over and over again. I wanted Ryan Poles. I didn't want Joe Shane. I wanted Ryan Poles. I wanted Ryan Poles and I wanted Brian Flores. Because I wanted a hard-nosed, no-nonsense coach that was going to put the fear of God into people. Because we have been bad for so long. And then you get the likes of Joe Schoen. And I kept saying, I keep thinking him and Dable are a product of Josh Allen. Josh Allen right now is Superman without Brian Dable. He has 40 interceptions a year here. Oh God. Jameis Winston, he had 30 his last year starting at Tampa, so I guess you're right. Tim, if we don't get Cam Ward, I'm going to explode into meat chunks. Well, don't do that. Alexander says, McKinney, I can understand letting go. Love made absolutely no sense. No, I don't understand letting McKinney go. You don't go after Brian Burns because we didn't need Brian Burns. We don't need an 8-sack guy. You don't go after him. You bring back, you have the cap space to bring in and still bring in and bring back McKinney and Barkley, and you still have the money to rebuild the offensive line. So all the offensive line pieces you brought in, you could still brought those guys in. And you would have had the best safety in football and the best running back in football. Love made no sense either. I mean, this is the same guy that traded
King of the almost sack.
who I have to hear, because he got a 2-5. What a smart move. You traded him because you didn't have money to sign a quarterback that year. Because you destroyed your cap once again. Although I have to keep both. No, we're not. So pretty much zero chance Belichick's coming. No, Belichick is now the head coach at the University of North Carolina. Have you hit the like button yet? I don't think. Can I hit the like button? Can I hit the? We have 124 people in the room. Make sure you hit the like button, people, please. Please, if you hit the like button, we have 38 likes. I think we need more likes than that. I think we need to have 48 likes. I don't know why I'm talking to my announcer voice now. I guess it's just the way to go. Oh my god. It's just a new thing of stupidity, also known as the New York Football Giants. Oh my god, Tim, did you see our 4th-string quarterback throw? Oh, he did actually had a throw. I always said it was shame. Giants Real says, any interest in Louis Riddick as GM? No. The Razzler Great says, since none of them are going to get fired and they will pick a quarterback, aren't we stuck with the group for at least 3 more years? That's the other thing I don't get. Thank you for bringing that up, Razzle. If you allow Joe Shane to pick your quarterback, what literally you're going to say now? Well, we got to keep him. We got to keep him at least 3 more years. He's destroyed this team. He's gutted all the talent off this team. We did a video, I think it was in week 3 or 4, that really said, listen, if we break this down and take a look at all of this, there are maybe 3 guys out of our starting 22 that would be on a top 15 team. And we thought about this. Strider says, Tim, did you see our 4th-string quarterback? Yeah, we saw that. I already read that one too. The Giants better get with the times and draft Cam Ward. I agree. Dan says, go Raiders tonight. Then it's all on us not to screw it up. We're going to screw it up. We're going to fuck up. Carl Anthony Towns is finally a Nick. We fucked that one up too. We decided to win useless games at the end of the season. Joe Shane, the greatest gift to every other team in the NFC East, which means he needs to go yesterday. I love Uncrustables. I hate Joe Shane. You can like Uncrustables. I tried Uncrustables once. That's rich people. I'm going to say it. That's rich white people peanut butter and jelly. Grew up in Trenton. Jersey Clown says, if you're really going to tear into things down, I think trading Dex would be the best. I said that last year and got screamed at. Honestly, you have to look, especially with the injury history of Andrew Thomas, you have to look at, will they still be at the peak of their careers or height of their careers in Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas once the Giants become good again? And you have to see the inclination and the rising of the salary cap and think to yourself, are they going to be good? Are they going to be worth the value to have on this roster in 3 years? That's kind of what you really have to kind of look at that. I can't wait until Joe Schoen blows up with Juan on an aging pass rusher to replace Azeez Ojulari, cap room weeks. Marvin says, Giants, if the Giants draft Sanders, they will have to hire Dion. You can't hire Dion as head coach. Yeah, coaches have been hired with less experience than Dion in the NFL, but you can't. That would be just that would be like drafting LaMelo and then bringing in his father. Dan the Man says the fact that Shane and Dable have multiple ways to say their names might be the problem. McKenzie and Vrabel are pretty easy. I do not want Mike Vrabel. Do not want Mike Vrabel. I will take McKenzie as a GM, but I cannot take Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a guy that I thought Shane Bowen was a good defensive coordinator, even though he had to bring in Jim Schwartz for 2 years. This is the same guy that had a bull of a running back at his prime and couldn't Derrick Henry and couldn't win games. This is a guy that just doesn't make second half. And I've watched a lot of Tennessee Titan games because of Malik Willis. This is a guy that couldn't make second half adjustments. He got himself fired with the new ownership. I don't know. Kayvon the Ghost. I'm honestly probably going to go to the game as well. Coaches Club is only like $140, and I've always wanted to see what it's like. Very nice Coaches Club. Very nice. You know what sucks? All right, I'm going to tell you something right now. MK5 VW, I'm going to tell you something right now about the Coaches Club this year. The Coaches Club this year sucks. I'm going to be honest. The food this year sucks. The cupcakes are dried out. The meat has all been fatty. There's really been nothing. They stopped because of James Williams and how they stopped doing the post-game show. They stopped doing it. I think it's because of James Williams, what he did to Howard Cross. They stopped doing it. They now have the show for Charles Way in the beginning. But even the people that work there, and I won't say who it is because there's a guy that's been working there for like 30 years, where the tables are, where the stage is, he was like, I don't even know why this stage is still here because no one listens to what anyone's saying and they stopped doing the post-game shit. If you want to go hang out on the field, that's fine. Because you don't even get to go on the field anymore after the game because of the new turf. You used to be able to go out for like a half hour on the field and hang out after the game. And that was a great thing. But even if it was a blowout, we would stay around, so we just go hang out on the field. They don't do that anymore. They let you just walk across the field. And unless you park at the Verizon lot, it's not even worth it. Because if you're parked on the other side and you walk across the field from the Verizon lot, you got to walk across the whole fucking stadium again. And they don't let you go back into the Coaches Club. How do you fuck up something that's supposed to be a luxury item? And listen, I love the bartenders there. I love the servers there. I know a lot of them by name. But I will tell you this, the food has been god awful this year. Even my wife was like, she was like, I took her a couple games back just to hang out with the wife at the Coaches Club. She's like, I don't really want to come back. She goes, it used to be fun that you go there and eat all this food and and you can do all this shit. But she's like, the food's not even good this year. The sushi was dried out. I know people are sitting there like, oh yeah, rich people problems. But no, it's not. It's not worth it. It's not worth. Yeah, it's cool hanging out on the sidelines. It's cool hanging out on the field, but you can't even see the game from the sidelines. You got to go up to your seat. But like I said, the food has been horrendous. What's up, Kareem? What's going on? Gents in the chat. James Williams says, Tim, we're picking Carson Beck because he went to Cutcliffe's Catholic Bible Bingo Camp. Phil says, Dable encourages Nabers to speak out, and to be a diva when he's parting FU to Mara, he's going to become a nightmare. He's already a nightmare. And I love it because last week when he sucked, he had nothing to say. I love it the week before. It's like, they want me to speak out and be a leader. Because and we've said before, you know what? Try doing something first. Don't be a rookie. Try doing something first. Then the other week, I didn't pay for no plane. Well, this is the face of the franchise. What could possibly go wrong? Tim, I believe Cam Ward shows us a new life, and we proper over any of our cracks. I need this team. I need this team quarterback Cam, and I believe Cam is a playoffs first year when he'll get a gold jacket. I think Cam's going to be good, but this team has got so many issues. We're not making the playoffs. I'm already telling you we're a 4-win team next year. I don't care what we do. We're a 4-win team next year. Joe Shane, is a GM of all time. Yes, he is. Maybe he's better than Joe Shane. Damn, James Williams. Who's next? Mullins, Falco's, shaking my head. Strider says, hey, Tim, our 4th-string quarterback threw a ball with some anticipation. Screw Sanders award. Am I right? Sarcasm.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
But it actually was a nice throw. Daniel Jones is as much as another quarterback as Ryan Leaf. Oh, that's just mean. The Dark Fiend says, what happened to Isaiah Simmons? Seems like a talented guy, but don't know what to do with him. Or am I crazy? You're crazy. He's not talented. I thought he would be a good player coming out of college. I thought he'd be the jack of all trade. I thought he'd be a linebacker and a safety. And then I love it because he's in Arizona and goes, I don't want to play safety. That's your best position. I don't want to play safety. Gets traded to New York, and he says, well, if I'll play safety, you want me to play safety. He's a tweener. He is we've talked about this before. He's a quadruple A player. Too good for triple A, not good enough for the major leagues. That's what he is. He got smoked on that one play. Smoked. The Fires are still burning. The money is going to be tight considering Thomas and Lawrence contract will be coming due in 2027. You're right. You're not wrong. LeVar says, what's up, Casanova? You say, let's see here. I know we hate them, but should we give Tony another? No, Kadarius Toney. I don't hate Kadarius Toney. I wish Kadarius Toney well, and I got bitched at. James says, I just want to say I saw Colt McCoy in the Progressive Insurance commercials yesterday. We're waiting for Daniel Jones' Depends commercial. The problem is Daniel Jones doesn't get commercials. LeVar says, I'm going to be pissed if we lose Bellinger. If we lose Bellinger, I'm fine with that. Remember when Bellinger bulked up? He was an incredible bulk. He was going to be such a good tight end with all that bulk. And that was last year. And with all that bulk, the Giants did not see fit to put him on the right side with Evan Neal to help him. That says a lot. You went out and got Theo Johnson. That says a lot. Mark says, this says if Joe Schoen and start over, we will be bad for at least 3 years. We're going to be bad for 3 years either way. If we don't get better, keep getting better. Green Bay's draft personnel need to pick a quarterback. Is it possible? I was thinking about this, too. That's a good question. Is it possible to have another team draft for us? Can we do that? Could the Eagles come and draft for us? Could we just get like
Hey Howie, it's Joe Schoen. Yeah, we're picking number 2. Could you tell me who you think we should take?
and then you'll sit there with
And the New York Giants select with the 2nd overall pick, Bo Callahan.
let's see here. Todd says that if it ever makes sense that we didn't want Jones on a 5th-year rookie extension, but we had to win average season and we paid him like he won the Super Bowl. No, it never did make sense. Mr. Howard says Giants trade back and pass on Christian Watson, then trade back. Then they choose Wan'Dale over George Pickens. We also didn't draft Mr. Parsons, who was sitting right in front of us. Tim Boyle looked pretty good. He did look pretty good. For a guy bringing me my rum and Coke. Turning Wanda Robinson to scat back. I remember people saying that they should do that with Rajib Ismail. Or his brother, Quadri, the Rocket. No, it was the Rocket and the Missile. I've said it before. I've been wanting to put him more into a Darren Sproles type role, but now after seeing him play, he's not fast enough to be a Darren Sproles type role. James Owens said, Whitefoot look good over there, Joe Brady. OG Naka. Hey, what's up, OG? I hope I'm wrong, but I think Mara is going to bring them both back. It's a giant move. They bring them both back. I quit. I literally fucking quit. I will sell my PSL. I will not renew my tickets, and I will root for another team. And people are like, well, Tim, that's not really being a fan. No, I've been a fan since 1976. I've lived through this garbage. I've said this before. I lived through the Andy Robustella GM errors. I lived through the Craig Mortons. I lived through the fact that we traded Craig Morton for a 2nd overall pick, and it turned out to be Hall of Famer Randy White for Dallas, the monster. I lived, or the manimal, whatever the fuck. I lived through all that. But even through the bad, dark days of the 70s, you saw some hope in 78. You saw some hope with the drafting of Phil Simms in 79. You started turning the corner with Ray Perkins. You made the playoffs in 81. You could have done something in that 82 season, because except for the strike. Then Perkins decides to go off to Alabama before he placed the Bear, and you got Bill Parcells, and the rest is history. There was hope. I don't see hope. You keep everyone, I fucking quit. I'm done. You can have my season tickets. You can have my parking passes. You can shove them up your ass. Because I am not going to sit there and see this product that was once the proud New York Football Giants turned into garbage during its 100th year anniversary. The fucking throwback jerseys were so god awful. We only wore them once. Shockingly, we only wore these during the season opener. We were supposed to wear them like 3 times during the season. We wore them once. That's how bad they were. That's how stupid these decisions this franchise makes. Tim Boyle looked pretty good. How low was it? No, Tim Boyle did. Tim Boyle actually had some nice passes. LeVar says, I think Wan'Dale needs a perfect ball placement to be more productive. He needs to go play someplace else to be more productive. To your point, Tim, we definitely need a top 10 safety in the draft. We do. We need to get rid of Pinnock, and I still think Tyler Nubin is a linebacker. OG said it's going to take them 5 years to be good again. James, Tim Boyle was awesome throwing the ball with anticipation. Screw Cam Ward. And Sanders, am I right? Sarcasm alert.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
I know that button's number 24. We are actually came up with a good group of quarterbacks. The worst Brown, Cannell, and Graham. How the hell is that possible? Because of the fact that Danny Cannell got us to the playoffs. So we thought we had something. And Kent Graham had moments. He even had moments in Pittsburgh, I think it was. But yeah, we were bamboozled. OG says, Tim, you were right about 93%. You were right about 93% of this team and the organization. Yeah. I keep telling people I'm like Novocaine. You can hate me. You can hate me all you want. You can hate my takes. You can tell me I'm stupid. You can tell me I don't know sports. But a year goes by. People are like, well, it's kind of right here. And then a little more time goes by, and he goes, well, Tim was pretty much right about everything. Because I'm not sitting here doing this channel as a Giant fan. I'm not sitting there licking the balls of the Giant organization. I'm sitting there pointing out what this team is. We've said it before. We're not a fan channel. We're a Giant channel. We're a Giant football channel that discusses the New York Giants. Yes, I'm a Giant fan, but I'm not looking at this from a fan perspective. Don't forget Tommy Maddox. You can never forget Tommy Maddox. Hey, what's up, Ness? Hey, Tim, I'm not a big Nabers fan, but if Thomas was on this team, he would probably have the same numbers due to his inept coaching. You're right. It's not that I'm not a Nabers fan. I want to dissuade that. It's not that I'm not a Nabers fan, but I've said this before. You went Joe Schoen. It's not Shane, it's Schoen, because that's how it's fucking spelt. Joe Schoen took a wide receiver, 6th overall, in a quarterback-laden draft, and went against all conventional wisdom and decided to draft a wide receiver to fix his quarterback against all NFL conventional wisdom. Now, this was also a wide receiver-laden draft. I mean, and he goes and takes Malik Nabers and Tyler Nubin. Brian Thomas. Of course, Brock Bowers is the tight end. Nabers, McConkey, Harrison, Azuda, Worthy, Coleman, Leggett. Keenan Coleman hasn't played in, a decade and still has 481 yards. Xavier Worthy, 494. Rome has got 585. Harrison, 687. He missed a bunch of games. Ladd McConkey, 873. Nabers, 901. Bowers, 933. Brian Thomas Jr.'s 956. Touchdowns. Thomas, 7. Harrison, 7. McConkey, 5. Bowers, 5. Leggett, 5. McMillan, 5. Excuse me, 4. Then you have Nabers. And then you have Worthy at 4. You have Coleman at 3. You got Rome at 3. You were in a wide receiver laden draft, a quarterback laden draft. I said this before. I would have gone Michael Penix and I would have gone Keenan Coleman. You fixed your offense. May not have fixed it this year, but I think you would have fixed your offense. And then you still could have gone in, brought in your offensive lineman, and you could have still brought in your safety blanket of Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney with that money you still have that you didn't fucking spend on Daniel Jones. Imagine you didn't spend that $160 million on Daniel Jones. Imagine this. Go back in time and imagine you did not drop that coin on this guy. what this team, you would still have.
King of the almost sack.
You would still have Julian Love. You would still have Xavier McKinney, and you would still have Saquon Barkley. And you would have a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver. I'm like Tim, but I have to check in. I'm only 23, but I still don't think I've ever seen worse. Well, you're only 23. You got a little ways to go. Oh, it's bad. No, it's bad, my friend. It is bad. It is just bad. Shane says, see, that's how you spell Shane. Shane. Why am I pointing at the screen? That's how you spell Shane. Tim, what do you do? And what do they do in practice? It's like they need to have competition at each position for the best guys. Too many people getting paid for shit show product. Really worked world mofos would have been. You know what? It just kills me. I'm not even gonna get into it. I was gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. Maybe I'll get into it later, Shane. LeVar says, as a fan base, I really think they should petition John Mara to either vote for you or license plate guy into the GM position. Well, first of all, it's got to be me. First of all, it's got to be me because I've seen some of the things the license plate guy would have done. He's the one that said the Eagles' defense wasn't any good. And literally, I don't usually post on other content creators' pages and stuff, and I know he's not a content creator, but he literally said that the Eagles' defense wasn't going to be. The Eagles' defense sucks, man. It's not going to be good at all. And I kept telling. I even had a point I was to say, "Do you see the talent on this team? Do you see the talent that's all of a sudden starting to match rate, get better as the season progresses?" I said, "This defense is a championship defense, and it's fucking scary good." I was sitting in the bar with Big L after we went after draft night. And they took Mitchell and DeJean. I even said to Big L right then and there. And there was someone from the Giants that worked from the Giants sitting right next to us. And I was like, they just locked in the division. It all stopped making sense after they signed Jones. It really did. Joe Schoen makes me hate him Uncrustables. If Joe leaves, maybe I'll go back. If Joe Schoen leaves, then I'll start eating Uncrustables. Let's see. Rogue Shadow. So how does it feel to be trash can Giants fans? Y'all deserve it. Thanks for Saquon. Fly, Eagles, fly. Well, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Just bear with me. Just hold on. We're gonna go back to that. Where is it? Boy, oh, here we go. How do you feel about you trash can Giants fans? You all deserve it. Thank you for Saquon. Well, you're just wrong.
It was amazing. Last year it was, tough year for me mentally. You did a really good job of. They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying,
"Thank you, Giants."
Thank you, Giants.
All right.
Never thought in the history of my world I would own 2 Eagle jerseys. And didn't even buy a Giant jersey this year. Never thought that would be crazy. Vrabel had A.J. Brown and Henry. Yeah, and he traded away A.J. Brown. People forget that too. Daniel Jones got more chances than Ryan Leaf. He sure did. Coaches Club cooks just like they play garbage. I love, like I said, I love the people in the Coaches Club, but it's not worth the money. $150 is still even worth that. We don't need more Cam Ward or Sanders. We have Boyle. Screw them both.
Warning.
Sarcasm alert coming in. Hit the button, please, Tim. Poor Howard. Howard Cross got. I do think they stopped it after James Williams and the Howard Cross incident. We call it the Cross incident here at the Coaches Club. Schoen is the worst GM of all time. No, he's actually worse than Andy Robustelli. It's probably just me, but I'm still waving the Brian Flores, the Giants' future head coach flag. Yeah, he's got to waive the lawsuit first. But I would like that. They won't let you walk on the field because y'all twisted your ankles and you don't want to be liable. They spent millions of dollars on this field, and I've shown this picture before. I'm going to show it again because I want to show the ineptitude of the Giants. Look at the seams on the field. Look at that seam. That's throughout the entire field. No, and this is the new field. We're just gonna throw that out there. If we hire Vrabel, we all definitely drafting Carson Beck. I think you're right. And finally, Joe Schoen. Someone said it on the FU doesn't care. Does Schoen and Shane sound the same? Who's he trying to fool? Because he eats Crustables and he thinks he's cool. It's pronounced shown. He is like a woman who's named Kim, who spells Kim with a Y. Joe Schoen is the guy who was ordering the food for the fans. He might be. That's pretty funny. Raz says, Tim, how do you F up the luxury items? Let John Mara be in charge. James, we have the number 2 pick. Yeah, you're gonna make shit happen. We have the number 1 pick right now. The food needs some bougie salt. Okay, my wife. I love my wife to death. I love my wife, and everyone says they love their wife, but I truly love my wife. But she's got this thing about condiments, and it was me, T. Brad, and everyone, and we're all hanging out. And she takes out this little container of salt, and she's putting it on her food, and it looks like a crack vial. I've told the story before. It looks like a crack vial. So T. Brad and James are making fun of her that she's putting her own salt on the food. And I love it because everyone then is like, well, let me try some of that salt. So we go home, and James was staying over with his lovely girlfriend. And first thing she says to Tiffany is, where'd you get that salt? And then a couple days later, James says they go home, and it turns out that his girlfriend bought the same salt. So, and of course, for bougie.
Out of you. Don't get your hands off me, Maria. Nobody call me bougie. Maria, what is bougie?
It means you think you're better than other people.
What in the hell? Bougie ass charge.
Oh, wait. Number 3. Ron Long, what's up, Tim? Get ready for ready for your rent today. Release the Kraken. No, that was early. I'm tired now. Razzle the Great says, when you have to make the rookie leader of your club, you know you're in deeper trouble than you think. We'll have a good rant when they lose next week, which is another problem seeing all the ownership. Let's see. NYJ5 said Fossil's teams were way more competitive than that in the 90s, even with no one at the quarterback position. Coughlin's teams were more competitive than this with a roster full of Reese's duds. You're right. By the way, Tim, I saw your little rant on Fireside Giants on the epic. That was epic. I don't really think it was a rant. Maybe it was. I don't know. Okay, listen. Caveat for stupid giant Twitter posts. There's a caveat because people are saying stupid things and then sending me their own posts. Yes, I know there's a certain honor associated with being part of stupid giant Twitter posts. I know there's an honor, but you can't nominate yourself. So I love people like, and I love people because then they DM me back and say, "Did I win?" Like, no, you can't win on your own stupid post. And then I know you're doing it intentionally so you can win. And there's no prize besides just being wonderful. James says, that's right. We get to see Danny No Dimes hold a clipboard for Darnold tonight. Jim Fossil was up and down. I feel like him. We won games. Mostly our defense kept his offense in the games. You're right. James Wayne says the only person who we're afraid of losing is Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence. That's all. Ron Juan waiting for a Giant fan to say that we need to draft a quarterback because Boyle showed promise yesterday. I will throw up if we do that. Razzle says, always wanted to know if another team could draft for us. I'm just curious about that. Could we just call up Howie and say, listen, Howie, just, man, pick somebody up for us, dude. You fans with the Tony and OBJ shit for the 2000 time is diabolical. Not sure who's worse, the fan base or the franchise. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Somehow it didn't work. I had a stupid giant Twitter post for today, but I don't know who it is. I don't know her name. I don't know her name. She's Giants Girl or something. She does a podcast or something, and she's on with Chris and somebody else. She wanted to bring back OBJ, so she wins.
Stupid giant Twitter post.
She wanted to bring back OBJ. But given our luck, the Giants would have Raiders draft for them. Yeah. Tim, Joe Schoen or Shane is the guy you don't want to have anything to touch with a big fence. McLaren or a Ferrari. It's 24 hours. It's dead. Imagine if Cam Ward had Travis Hunter. Cam Ward had some guys, though. Get ready to quit, Tim. These guys are coming back. I truly will give up my tickets and quit. The Dark Friend says if Mara brings back Shone and Mara, I don't know if you can bring my kids up as Giant fans. They're starting to pay attention to football. No, if you bring back, I'm going to call DIFUS. I'm going to call Child Services. That is just cruel and unusual punishment, making your kids watch football that are Giant football, because it's not football, it's croquet. DeVito has got to go at this point. Enough of the sentimental shit. I agree. Unfortunately, at this point, players aren't going all out, and I agree. Made by the Giants says when you have half the front office like like a call center, this is what happens. Tim, a Giant fan and a pigeon jersey is nasty work. You know what? Fuck it. Win. I'm like Adrian and Rocky too. There's something I want you to do for me. What's that? Win. I did not buy a Giant jersey this year. I'm not gonna. I bought a Packers jersey and I bought 2 Eagles jerseys. Thinking about getting a Jaden jersey over in Washington. Razzle says, what is this team? Lack of leadership from the ownership who has lost his way and quickly losing touch with reality. They lost touch with reality. Cream says, Joe Schoen has had enough chances to get a quarterback this year in a deep quarterback draft and chose to stick with Danny Dumpster Fires. He doesn't deserve another chance. You could have even taken a quarterback. You have Spencer Rattler starting games. Not that I think he's a good quarterback, because I don't. But you got Spencer Rattler starting games. The smartest man in the room doesn't mean shit to me, because sometimes the smartest man in the room is an idiot. I've said that a million times. I've lived it as well and learned from it. Who do I learn this from? Tim. I should have read the full one. That was a good one. Thank you. I backed into a complimentary comment to myself and didn't even know it. No one listens to the smartest man in the room unless you're willing to listen to the others. I agree. Let's see here. I want to theorize that decisions would have been made at this point to draft, but the problem is all the lack of depth and talent on this roster, which also speaks to why the dim-witted duo needs to go. I agree. License plate guy is too much of a homer. He's blind. You're right. He is. Literally he told me the Eagles defense wasn't going to be any good. I'm looking at all the players on the Eagles defense and how young they are. And then you add in big play Slay. And a couple of the other guys. Mr. Ramos says, hey, Tim, hypothetical question. Since both Thomas and Lawrence contracts are coming due at the same time, can we bring the one back? Which one would you bring back? I got to bring back all pro left tackles are harder to find than quality defensive tackles. But his injury history alone precludes you from bringing back Andrew Thomas if you only can keep one. John Mara has the clip playing on a loop in his nightmare. I have no Giant jerseys left. There are on our current teams. Just saying, on the trade job, if you had bad work, you get sent on your way. Wasn't meant as a disrespect. No, I understand, Shane. You're fine. You're fine. It's all good. Let's get Trevor Lawrence. No, we don't have the money to get Trevor Lawrence. Let's see here. The food at the stadium needs some adobo. Says, I love adobo. I love adobo. If it's super cheap, and it will fix the problem overnight. Well, first of all, adobo fixes it. First of all, you got to, if you have adobo, yes, adobo fixes everything. But you need sazon. You got to get the little packs. Yeah, and they turn your hands orange, but you need to put in, especially if you're making like chicken, or it's always good in steaks, or you're doing like you're doing some kind of dish. Yeah, you got to have both. You got to have the Spanish garlic, and you got to have what I like to refer to as the red and green sauce, and you got to have it all stored in your freezer. But yeah, it actually would help. So with the games we have remaining, do we have a chance against the Colts? I don't think we have a chance against the Colts. Let's see here. People just want Tim to review their video. I think that's hilarious. I really think it's hilarious that people want to have stupid posts so I can what's Patricia? No, it's not Mom. John Mayer was it's Giants girl or something. Maybe it is. No, it's Giants girl or girl Giant fan or something like that. She wanted to bring back OBJ. I was like, it's just like social media fame is a weird thing for certain people. And I think certain people just say stupid shit so they get the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. I get some platanos. It's good in soup. It's good in some roca gandules. I know it's known as stuff for your content. I know, but I call it the red and the green. You gotta have your sofrita already made and frozen. You got to get your abuela or your Titi Beatrice or someone to chop them up and you put it together in little blocks and you put them in the freezer. Oh. Tim, the reason why I just think it's funny that it's the red and the green sauce. I always call it the red and the green sauce. I've been calling it the red and green sauce for like 20 years. Tim, the reason why I said the smartest man in the room I kind of like was that in my early 20s, boy, I turned out to be the heartbeat and low. Had to learn about it. And not about me. That's good. You learned. You should pass that advice on to Joe Shane because he hasn't learned it yet. You listen, when you're in your 20s, you're allowed to think you're the smartest man in the room because you don't know any better. And as you get older, James Williams can attest to this. As you get older, you kind of figure out, maybe I'm not as smart as I think. And maybe some of the things I thought when I was younger, I don't think now. It's one of those things. What's your thoughts on bringing T. Higgins here following the drafting a quarterback? Do we have the money? We have the money, but think about this for made by Giants. Let me propose a question to you. You've seen this shit show forever. Mofongo. I do love Mofongo. Haven't had Mofongo in a long time. Damn, now I want a Pastelli. Fuck. And I don't have any in the freezer. Sorry, I lost my train. Oh, T. Higgins. You got me hungry now. If you're T. Higgins and you've seen this shit show forever and you know we don't have a quarterback, why would you even come here? You've lived under the shadow of Jamar Chase. Now you can live under the shadow of Malik Nabers. And you're going to have to get paid a shit ton. And there's really no talent on this team. And that's why I keep telling people with free agency, why would they even come here? Why would you even consider coming here? What do we got here? Trade for Trevor Lawrence. We can't. Trevor Lawrence's contract's going to kick in and they're going to owe him $2 billion. Is the Cutlet sign still a thing? No, I don't know if the Cutlet sign is still a thing. No, I hope not. All right, guys, it is 12:48. I gotta check out because I got stuff I gotta do. I did a video yesterday. Go watch that. Go watch that. You know what? I really sell this, don't I? I really sell this. I really sell this shit. I don't want to say it, but I really sell this. There's a new Get Off My Lawn. Matt Ramley's of a Gen Xer. Very good one about the Jersey Drones. Make sure you go check that out as well. And that's all I got. I watched it. Fun stuff. Well, thank you. Let's see here. Tim, I wanted T. Higgins first, and I would sign the right tackle, the free agency, the good quarterback, and the DJ Reed. Thanks for your opinion. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Is there a word of Zulu? Is there a quarterback? There is Campbell. All right, guys, we're out of here today. I really do got to go do because I got to do that thing I do because the holidays, Christmas is here. I got to do Christmas shopping and shit. Can't hang out with you guys all day. I could. I'm just getting in a lot of trouble, but I don't want to do that. I want to go eat and I want to go Christmas shopping. It's nice just to be able to say Merry Christmas again. I feel like we've tucked it away in a neat little box and put it off to the side for the last 4 years. I was in a store the other day. So I'm going, Merry Christmas. It's like, Merry Christmas to you too. He's like, I'm Jewish. I'm like, well, good for you. Well, thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. There you go, Razzle. Tim has a boss, and she doesn't like him being like, no, you're right. You're right. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave it right at the Razzle the Great Scott, the Twitter comment of the day. Merry Christmas, everyone, and to all a good night. Thanks, everyone. I'm out of here. See you on the flip side.